that go to the right window. The Antelope Jackrabbit can leap 22 feet forward. Let's talk about that and more fun Antelope Jackrabbit facts while I sketch this little hopper. So let's just turn the page and get started. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 5:30 in the morning. Oh, my camera is not working. Of course my camera is not working. Why is my camera not working? Stop that. I got to go figure out why my camera's not working. There we go. Now my camera's working. All right. Good morning. Good morning. I am one gremlin away from chucking it all and moving to Mexico. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is 5:30 in the morning. That camera is not lit. Stop. Overhead wide. That camera is frozen also. Are they all frozen? Let me check Junior. There we go. Now my camera should be working fine. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 5:30 in the morning. I made some kind of comment. There's Rick. I made some kind of comment about I'm one gremlin away from packing it all up and moving to Mexico, and darned if we didn't get hit with gremlins. I should have known better. But it is 5:30 in the morning on is it Wednesday morning? Wednesday morning. And at 5:30 in the morning on Wednesday mornings, I like to do a little thing where I pull a toy from the toy box, a random object from the random object randomographer, if you will, and I draw it and we talk about it. And today's random object from the random object randomographer is a Antelope Jackrabbit. So named for its color scheme and its long spindly legs. They're gray and orange and white, like an antelope. And they have long spindly legs. And they live in a very specific part of the desert between Arizona and Mexico. Sonora, Sayana, Chihuahua, that area. Very specific part of the desert there. And have a very unique niche in the way they operate as far as rabbits go. When I bought this set, I was under the impression that everything on the set was domesticated. That they were all breeder rabbits. This is the only one, as far as the set goes, this is the only one I'm aware of that is a wild hare. Are you laughing?
No.
Oh, I thought you laughed at the wild hare comment.
No. Just trying to get
for the longest time, whenever somebody said they had a wild hare, I always thought they meant like a stray nose hair or something, and never had no idea they meant an animal like this. I'm not even sure when I realized it, but I was an adult before I realized that they meant, when they said I've got a wild hare, I was an adult before I realized that they were actually talking about an animal like this. Because these things are springy. This is the largest hare in North America. It's 24 inches long, plus a 4-inch tail. Weighs about 9 pounds, about the size of 2 pineapples. sprints more than it hops. It's not much of a hopper. It's more of a sprinter. Thing can jump straight up in the air 5 feet. Can leap forward 22 feet. Has been known to leap forward 22 feet.
That's crazy.
And can run 45 miles an hour. How fast do cheetahs run? We've talked about that before, but I don't remember how fast cheetahs run. Coyotes run 43 miles an hour, top out at about 43 miles an hour. Bobcats run about 30 miles an hour.
75 miles an hour.
Cheetahs run 75 miles an hour. So this thing's no match for a cheetah. The coyotes run 43 miles an hour. Bobcats run 30 miles an hour. And a golden eagle can dive at 32 miles an hour. So even with all of that speed, this thing's running at 45 miles an hour.
Pamela asked if this is the infamous jackalope after the shedding.
You know, it could be. We could put horns on it now. It could be. I love me some jackalope lore. I think that's hilarious. That and the squirrel or mongoose sitting on the back of a rattlesnake like he's riding the bronc and buck. That kind of taxidermy cracks me up. Jackalopes. That kind of taxidermy cracks me up. I don't like that they kill the animal to play with the animal, but if they find a dead animal and they do stuff like that, by all means, have a good time. Where were we? We're moving to ink. That's where we are. That's quite enough pencil for one morning. He still has some wild hair. Exactly, Claudia. He still has some wild hair. Wait. Claudia's got a button. I had to push Claudia's buttons.
Oh my.
Your ears are little I don't know, radiators, not the right word. They use their ears to release and trap heat. When their body gets too cold, your ears, the blood vessels in the ears shut down, thin out, so they don't lose so much heat through their ears. When their body gets too warm, just the opposite, their ears will fan out, so they can dispel heat. These guys, their ears are huge. Some of the longest ears out there for rabbits. The animal, when I look at this thing, I don't see a jackrabbit. I see the if you've ever seen the dark crystal, Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal, they have a large beastie thing that they ride into battle that I think is based on this. And I know the rabbit came before the Dark Crystal movie, but it's all I see when I look at this thing is that particular movie animal. It's one of my favorite movies growing up. My kids are terrified of it.
Funny.
It is funny. They saw it at a bad time in their life, I guess. Ears are huge. All right. Dun, 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 dun. They've been in North America in their little area. Their fossils, there are 2.5 million year old fossils, but they weren't officially described until the 1890s by Joel Asaph Allen is the guy that described them. And he came up with a theorem about animals in the hot environments always having long spindly legs. Led me down a huge rabbit hole last night on research about various animals, including Neanderthals and Homo sapiens sapiens, and the stocky bodies versus the long, lanky bodies, and the environment. Native Americans, southern Native Americans versus northwestern Native Americans versus northeastern Native Americans. Huge rabbit hole I went down last night. Oh, I fully intended that pun. Absolutely intended that pun. That pun was just laying there. He has the whole theorem named after him, because it's his theorem about hot environment animals having long spindly legs, having long limbs compared to their body size. Not necessarily that they're tall and lanky, but that their limbs will be longer.
Have you ever heard of the Jackrabbit roundups during the Dirty 30s?
I did not. Tell us about it. This is my favorite part of the process. This is the part of the process that turns the whole thing into a dimensional object, as opposed to just a bunch of lines on the page. Love this part of the process. I have to break down and buy come up with a different way to manage my paint, though. It's ridiculous that my paints run out of my trays like this. I've been fighting it for a long time, but it seems to have gotten worse lately. The problem is you mix up enough color for the whole thing, and then you run out of that color, and you have to mix up more, and it's not always consistent the way the new color works. You're stuck with different colors of shading. But I love this part of the process. I probably never told you guys that before. I got a back leg over here, back foot over here that I can see it, just barely. All right, and then let's put a shadow on the ground. There we go. That's what I'm after. Harding. I set my system up to automatically edit out silences on the recording. So when I upload the recordings later, all the silences are automatically edited out. I just had to do some special things so that the dancing didn't go away.
Does your music affect it?
No, because the music is only on the desktop microphone. It's not on the desktop microphone. It's on the virtual microphone for the computer. The music's not happening in this room, and even if it were happening in this room, it's a consistent background noise. Yeah, I can't hear it at all. But it's been getting me in trouble with even though I pay for a license, it's been getting me in trouble with YouTube every morning. You have a copyright violation. No, I don't. I have a license.
Holly says she wishes she was as smart as you.
I wish I was as smart as me. Thank you. That's a nice thing to say. I learn all this stuff overnight, and then I forget it. By next week, I'll be asking you, what did I say about rabbits? Let me dry this real quick. I have a dryer button. Pamela posted that the Dirty 30 Roundup, Dirty 30 Jackrabbit Roundup was that in the 30s during the Dust Bowl, when everything was dry and there was not enough food for people, they got together and they chased all the rabbits into a specific area to make it easy to kill them. That seems like it would have been a challenge. I don't blame them.
I think that was out of necessity.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I'm not sure it satisfied their needs though. So the antelope part, the antelope jackrabbit part, their coloration is gray and orange and white, like an antelope. And when they're being chased, they'll flash the fur on their back legs and on their tail bright white. And what that will do is confuse their predator because it's flashing. They can see the white, and then all of a sudden they can't see the white. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? And so it will confuse the predator that's chasing them. They're not the only ones that use this. We had a blue butterfly. I believe it was the Ulysses butterfly we talked about a few weeks ago that does something similar, where their colors are not really colors so much as they're reflective type crystals in their wings, and the way they flicker when they fly confuses predators. And white-tailed deer use almost the exact same technique as the Antelope Jackrabbit, in that they flash those, their colors bounce when they're running, and then all of a sudden they tuck their tail and the white's gone, and the predator's stuck trying to figure out what happened to the prey. I'm going to mix up a little lavender gray here is what I'm going to go with. We've got our lavender. I'll add just a touch of ochre to it. Mix up a little, make this up just a little lavender gray. Hopefully I've got that light enough that when I go over everything, it doesn't overpower it. Well, you have to mix up enough of it to show through, and that's what I'm talking about. My colors just seem to disappear off my tray. When I say I don't understand where the colors go, that's what I'm talking about. Mixed up more than enough for the whole thing, and then they're gone. And it's not dry enough here for them to have evaporated. They haven't seen very many instances of these things mating. These things are not well studied when it comes to stuff like that. But the few times they've seen a mate, there's an interesting phenomenon where the females get feisty. They actually box the males, stand up and punch them like kangaroos. To keep them, not only to keep them away initially, but to get rid of them when it's over.
They became nearly extinct in that area for quite a few years.
I can imagine. I can imagine when you overhunt them like that. Humans have a knack for industrializing everything they do, including killing their fellow animal travelers. They have a really good knack for doing that.
As Ned told those stories as he participated in the roundups with his dad or neighbors.
I agree that it was a necessity. People were starving to death. We don't understand starving to death like they understand starving to death. We don't understand watching your kids go to sleep. Most of us are fortunate enough to not have to understand watching your kids go to sleep night after night with an empty stomach. And when we listen to stories like that, we think how cruel, we think how horrible. But I would kill every rabbit on the planet to make sure my kids didn't go to bed hungry night after night after night. Let me dry this real quick. Then we can ink it. They'll have up to 4 litters a year with 1 to 5 leverets. And baby hares are called leverets, not kits. Baby rabbits are called kits or kittens. And the main difference there being, and this is one of the one of the absolute differences between a hare and a rabbit is hares are born with their eyes open and can bolt and run in a couple of days. Rabbits are born like most of the other pet animals, where they require several weeks of nursing and care before they're able to get up and get around. Rabbits are born with their kits helpless. Hares are born with leverettes and they're not helpless. And if you can imagine, they have to be able to escape predation. The mothers don't keep them in a single warren. They'll spread their offspring around an area and travel from pod to pod to nurse them after dark, in order to ensure that if one pod is discovered, another pod will still survive. At least that's the thinking. It's not like we understand. It's not like they reason with us. It's not like they told us, "Oh yeah, we do this because of this." We just notice that when they do, this is the working theory as to why they do what they do. And no rabbit has denied it either. So no hare has denied it either. So I cannot confirm nor deny the allegations.
Emma says her mother told her about the government men coming to their farm and killing all their cows but one milk cow. Her mother flying out to butcher them and taking the meat over the clothesline to dry turkey.
Why did the government kill all the cows? Was the argument that the cows were over eating the grassland and that was causing the Dust Bowl? And how did they get the farmers to not shoot back? Because I remember not too long ago in Nevada there was a standoff. The government was trying to kill off a man's cows, and people from all across the United States came up with their personal weapons to defend his cows against the U.S. government.
They believe that the farmers are still producing. It was part of the Federal Surplus Relief Corporation that the farmers were raising too many cattle. So 50%, at the beginning, more than 50% of the cows were killed.
Wow. At least they killed them in a way to allow them to butcher them instead of just going out there and shooting them and let them rot in the field.
Yeah, they it was part of the New Deal, and they believe the prices were down because the farmers were producing too many commodities.
That's when you load them up, take them to Mexico to sell them. What is today? Today's the 8th. And you say there's no communication to speak of, but I think they had plenty of communication when Farmer Bob's getting these cows killed, and they send little Jimmy to run to the farm next door for help. I think that news spreads pretty fast. But everybody's broke and beat down. Today was July 8th. There's a whole series of things that happened during the Dust Bowl. Not the least of which was his timing was with the Great Depression, financial stock market crash. So there is my version of this wild hare compared to the photograph. let's see what it looks like. Let's see what it looks like from my perspective. And I have a habit of making things chunky. There it is from my perspective. So that's what I did this morning. Tomorrow, what do we have tomorrow? Uh-oh. Do we even have something pulled for tomorrow? Let's see what it is. It's a bingo ball. That camera's frozen too. Well, face, deactivate, activate. Ah, now I'm back. Okay, so it's a bingo ball, which means, oh, the suspense. It means that the object was too big to fit into a egg. Right, Claudia, it's a little bit chubby. I have a tendency to do that for some reason. I'm not sure why. I'd like to say it's my style, but that's not the point of this exercise. The point of this exercise is not to express my style. The point of this exercise is to draw what I see. So it's important that I recognize that it's chunky. We may have to take a Sunday show and just go through and critique what's going on, so that I can burn that into my mind, what's going on. But tomorrow we have a red-eyed tree frog, and he's about life size. This is actually a little bigger than the red-eyed tree frogs, than most of the red-eyed tree frogs. So tomorrow we're gonna do a red-eyed tree frog, and this is a Toimani frog, and it's all the way down to the skin texture. This thing has tons of detail on it, tons of detail, little folds of skin, little wrinkles, gill scars, you name it. This thing is beautiful. It's a beautiful model. My only thing that I complain about is it doesn't tell me what it is. I had to go confirm what it was on the website. Now, this is a red-eyed tree frog. It's not hard to miss that one, but some of these others are very similar to each other, and it's difficult to tell what they are because Toimani does not put the thing on the underside like Safari does. But otherwise, this is just a stunning little model, and we're going to draw that tomorrow while we talk about the red-eyed tree frogs at 5:30 a.m. Texas time. So you're going to want to set your notification bell for that. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I look forward to it every day when I get to art with my besties. I truly run down the stairs every morning just so I can be here with you guys to do this. It holds me accountable to my art practice and is often the only art I get to do in a day. So thank you very much for joining me. Pamela, Rick, Claudia, Mom, and Dad, thank you for your help as usual. Be sure and tune in tomorrow. Same Artistic Biker time, same Artistic Biker channel. And then we dance. We dance until somebody says they see me dancing, because when they see me dancing, I will know that the lag is caught up with the stream and I won't get cut off mid-sentence. Gives you a chance to click the clicky thingies this way if you're on the horizontal, or this way if you're on the vertical. Gives everybody a chance to say hello and goodbye to each other and ask any questions they may have, share any information. But the most important thing is that I don't get cut off mid-sentence, because being cut off mid-sentence